Civil danger warning.
A disaster of unknown type has occurred.
Normal programming has been suspended.
Gary, have you got the sample?
This is not a test.
Okay, let's get going.
This is Free Yorkshire Radio.
Hello and welcome to Free Yorkshire Radio. Gary has found some ore of the rare precious metal called unobtainium, which... I'm sorry, Gary, but are we really sticking with the name unobtainium? I thought that was just a first draft holder and we were going to come up with a vaguely realistic sounding name later. No, Gary, I disagree. It being good enough for James Cameron does not make it good enough for me. No, Gary, I can't think of a better one right now, and we're in the middle of recording with a deadline to meet. So from the top, I guess. Gary has found some ore of the precious and oh so mysteriously named metal called unobtainium, which should provide us with enough energy for our show. My name, of course, is Lloyd Becklesnip, and we'll be bringing you all the latest government-approved news and stories from the glorious Free Republic of Yorkshire, the mightiest of the many new nation-states that, several decades ago, emerged from the troubled era that was early 21st century Britain. In this episode, we'll be revealing the story behind the recent triangle of terror that has swept through the nation. The current national crisis all stemmed back to a seemingly innocent visit I made to the farm of Ken Governance, one of the country's finest growers of our treasured national fruit, the rhubarb. And here's what happened whilst I was amidst his crops.
You're listening to Free Yorkshire Radio.
Okay, and I am just trudging through the rather muddy path leading up to the vast rhubarb sheds of the Free Republic of Yorkshire, one of our most important crops. And we're coming up to the harvesting season, so it's a very important time of year. But I'm delighted to say that one of the farmers here, Mr. Ken Governance, has made some time in his busy schedule to talk us through the exciting business of growing Yorkshire's famous rhubarb. Farmer Dan, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be on your little technological performance.
Yes, it's a radio show.
I heard my grandmother tell me of this once. It sounded like witchcraft to me.
Well, I was just about to say there's a certain magic involved in sending our voices across the nation, but there's a lot of magic involved in growing one of the most beautiful fruits that God's country has ever bestowed upon us, the magical rhubarb. What was it about the rhubarb that drew you to farming it in the first place?
Well, rhubarb has been part of the governance family way of life for centuries. Some say that in times now lost to us, the governance family invented rhubarb. But I am simply the curator, the shepherd of the rhubarb. I trust it and it trusts me.
Are you able to share any secrets from where the rhubarb came from? There's rumours that it initially was kind of a barbed wire type plant.
Some say that it began when a length of barbed wire was indeed wrapped around a sprig of rue and squeezed it until something beautiful popped out.
That would be Roo, the small kangaroo from the Winnie the Pooh stories, I presume.
Other A.A. Milne characters were tried, but they all perished.
So we don't have any piglet barb fruit to enjoy these days.
Alas, no.
That's a shame. So now that you know the rumours of its genesis, does that influence how you grow rhubarb today? Is it those secrets that make the Yorkshire farmers the premier producer of this magical fruit?
Well, now that, of course, we have rhubarb left to us by previous generations in such great quantities, it's more a case of crossbreeding them to find the perfect genetics. The perfect rhubarb family bush.
Okay, crossbreeding. That sounds exciting. Have you had any success stories you would like to share with us?
We have tried crossing rhubarb with bananas so that we can have bunches of rhubarb, but, well, they proved very difficult to peel.
I could see getting the skin of a rhubarb was always quite tricky in the first place, so crossing it with a banana is just going to increase that problem 20-fold. But what about the possibility of crossing it with seaweed? Seaweed does grow at an enormous rate, so we could get it growing even quicker.
That's very true, and of course we have been shipping consignments of rhubarb over to Whitby to crossbreed it with the seaweed there, but the rhubarb doesn't like to be taken too far from the triangle before it's ready.
Oh, the rhubarb triangle, so that is real. It's not just a legend, the rhubarb triangle.
Oh, it's real. It's real, all right.
And so the rhubarb can't survive long from its home triangle. It withers on the vine.
Oh, it survives, but it gets angry.
Does it turn on the farmer then? What's an angry rhubarb look like?
Well, during the day, rhubarb can be as peaceful as a newborn lamb. But at night, you can hear it on the march. You can hear it growing and stretching and walking and killing.
So that's where it gets its nice meaty flavour from then?
Yes, the diet of the rhubarb.
Is that part of the essence of growing rhubarb? Obviously, we don't want it rampaging across the country and leaving a path of destruction. But a little bit of killing by the rhubarb increases its value, just gives it that little bit of extra protein, that little bit of extra iron.
If it tastes good, you don't question where the taste came from.
I see. So this is why, the rhubarb triangle, there's not many people moving there these days. It's a fairly sparsely populated part of Yorkshire. But you're saying that the triangle might be growing?
Yes, I have been looking to purchase more land around the rhubarb triangle to expand its angles.
So you've communicated with the rhubarb and now are leading their forces?
They allow me to communicate with them, yes.
But is this a power that Yorkshire can harness? I mean, could we aim the triangle towards Derbyshire? And that would be a way of conquering our southern foes.
That is something that has been considered. My father, in fact, drew up plans of attack centred around the border between Yorkshire and Derbyshire, but alas, he was taken into the earth before he could enact those plans. One day I hope to fulfil his vision and lead the charge on Derbyshire.
Mm-hmm. I was fascinated to hear your father was absorbed by the earth. Was he absorbed into the rhubarb itself? Is there maybe some of his genetic makeup in these current forces?
I hope so. I hope that when I snack on a sprig of rhubarb, I am taking some of my father into myself. And I hope that when the rhubarb decides that I too have outlived my usefulness, I will reach a similar end, become one with the soil, and my son in turn can feast on me.
What a beautiful circle of life story. Ken, I wish you all the best in your plans to invade and decimate Derbyshire. I'm sure we'll be hearing a lot more about this very soon. Thank you very much for your time.
Welcome.
You're listening to Free Yorkshire Radio.
It turns out that the plans to target Derbyshire with Ken's aggressive crop of rhubarb were further advanced than anyone realised, but the tactic of letting the leafy stalks stray from the safety of the Yorkshire Triangle had terrible unforeseen consequences. We were able to discover the root of them from this communication we intercepted from some Derbyshire border guards who were monitoring the Yorkshire crop, and we can now share this audio with you.
Are you Private Trotter?
I am indeed.
Cool, I'm Captain Smigley. You can call me Cornelius, or Smiggles.
Smiggles. Yeah, nice to meet you, Smiggles. Helen Trotter.
Helen Trotter.
You can call me Helen.
Hi, Helen.
Yeah, just call me Helen.
Okay. Do you want me to call you Trotter, Trotty, Trottles?
No, just Helen.
We could be Smiggles and Trottles.
Smiggles and Helen.
Smiggles and Helen.
You really want this Trotters, don't you?
It's been quite lonely out here on the rhubarb front, on the rue border of Derbyshire.
Yeah?
I'll be real with you, Helen. We've lost a fair few privates to the border.
That is why I'm here. You can call me Trotter. Just call me Trotter, it's fine.
Okay, Trotter. This is your first day out here?
This far north, yeah.
Yes, this is the furthest north you can go anymore before we hit. Do you see the fields of red?
Yeah, I do.
I've taken you out here at twilight. We'll need to get indoors very quickly, because, as you know, night is the most dangerous time to be around the rhubarb. Walk with me.
Do you know, I've heard the stories.
What stories have you heard?
I've heard stories about people being taken in the night, windows being broken in, barns burnt down to ash.
They're all true.
My goodness.
The rhubarb knows how to start fire now. It's getting smarter every day. As you walk with me, if the rhubarb recognizes that we are walking with human footsteps, it will pounce. It's docile at twilight, but it still will go for us, so you'll need to adapt your step.
Okay, it's a good thing I did ballet as a kid.
Good.
You can go on point as well?
I don't know how to go on point. I do step to the left, 2 steps to the right, cha-cha real smooth. That normally confuses the crop.
Okay, will a powder beret be sufficient to fool the rhubarb?
If you can do it in a sufficiently non-human way, then it shouldn't get too hungry.
Okay, I think I can manage that. They did say the ballet dancers are not humans, so... Okay.
Do you fear death, Helen?
Do you know, I used to say no, but I'm feeling it a bit.
I was like you, Helen. You know, I wouldn't blame you if you turned around and walked south back into Derby.
No, I won't be doing that. I'm here. I've been brought here for a reason.
Okay.
We've got to do this.
Here's your logbook.
Thank you.
You're starting on shift tonight. All you need to do is record where the rhubarb was when the sun went down and where it was when the sun came up.
Smiggles, what are these symbols on the pages? I've started on page 17.
Oh, that was the previous watcher, Henhouse. Henhouse did go mad on day 17.
Right.
I'm afraid he went native.
Okay. How many days have you been here?
Me? Well, I'm captain today. Yesterday I was Private Smiggles. It's a kind of one in, one out situation. So prospects are good for your promotion.
In 17 days?
Normally fewer.
Oh.
Henhouse, he had a will of steel.
And your will is less steely.
Beware the rhubarb. Beware the rhubarb.
Smigs?
It's me, Private Henhouse. You can't see me at the minute. I've camouflaged myself in the rhubarb. Just follow the sound of my voice.
Should we follow the sound, Smiggles?
I would say...
Come.
Don't do that. Avoid the siren's call of the rhubarb.
You cannot defeat us. We are too many. I am one with the rhubarb now. I have joined their consciousness. The only way forward is to accede to their demands.
Stay back, Henhouse. I won't fold.
I've got a question for you, Henhouse. You've done a bunch of symbols. One of them looks like a house. Another one of them looks like a spiral. What is that about?
That's the madness of the House of Rhubarb. When you come in and join, your mind turns into a spiral. It all makes sense once you join, trust me. The spiral in the house, it's great. It's like a fun house.
I loved Fun House as a kid.
Helen, no. Don't get drawn in by his siren's call.
Come join us, Helen. We've got a rhubarb crumble just for you. That's why we started fires, to make rhubarb crumble, because we know no one can resist the crumble.
Smiggles, they have rhubarb crumble.
Okay, this is standard procedure. If you look in your sachet, you'll find wax. As you see, I'm putting wax in my ears and nose, so I can't smell the rhubarb.
If you also look in your packet, Helen, you'll have rations. And one of those rations is custard powder. Just think custard and rhubarb crumble. No one can resist that combination.
Smiggles, there's custard powder.
Oh, sorry, let me take my wax out.
Custard powder.
Damn them, I knew that was a mistake to include it. Okay.
Yeah.
One taste.
Okay.
We'll join Henhouse, just want one crumble.
Bumble. Have some crumble, yes.
Yes, we'll have some crumble.
Taste it.
Right.
We'll taste the crumble.
Feel the rhubarb infuse itself into your mind almost immediately. Can you hear the rhubarb calling to you?
Yeah. Lucky I've got this fork.
You've got a fork. She has the blessed fork. She is the chosen one.
I've got the blessed fork.
Come gather round our new Messiah, rhubarb. It is the one who has been spoken about. It is Helen of the Fork.
There's so many of you, wow. Oh.
We shall raise you up. We shall make you our new leader. Feel as our rhubarb tendrils wrap themselves around you.
Yep.
as they devour Captain Smiggly.
Oh, ow.
Oh, no. Oh, Smiggles, just relax. Just relax into it.
Ow, the more I relax, the more it devours.
Become one.
Oh, become one. Oh, I'm one with the...
You're going to make such a meaty rhubarb stick.
Yo, what's up?
You're listening to Free Yorkshire Radio.
As the rhubarb army has now been commandeered by Helena the Fork and is starting to rampage across Yorkshire, fingers are being pointed at the source of these ills, Farmer Ken Governance. We join him now as he travels with his son Gavin towards York, having been summoned to appear at the King's Court.
Father, what are we telling the people in suits?
Well, we shall need to explain just how badly this war has gone. Explain why the rhubarb is no longer responding to the orders of the generals and is now simply rampaging across Derbyshire and Yorkshire alike.
Oh, and our answer to that is...
I warned them the rhubarb wasn't ready. I warned them it needed to be given more time, to become more disciplined, more attuned to understanding that not all humans taste alike, that the people of Derbyshire are for eating, the people of Yorkshire are for following and obeying.
Oh, well, I mean, you did try your best. You did hit them a lot with a stick.
You think me trying my best will appease King Geoffrey and all his ministers? No, they'll want my head and my other bits, but mostly my head.
Oh, are they going to eat you like the rhubarb would?
They'll put me on spikes, boy.
Oh, I don't want you to be on spikes. I don't want anyone to be on spikes.
I'm not wild about it myself. But listen, if I take all the blame, they may not put you on spikes as well, and you'll be free to return to our farm and begin again.
Oh, there's nothing to farm if the rhubarb is here, so I'll just have the house without you in it.
Gavin, the governance family created the species of rhubarb from scratch, and that may be what you'll have to do. Invent a whole new plant life.
Oh, okay. Like cucumbers, but bendy and yellow. Oh, that's a banana. A round fruit, which is crunchy. Oh, that's most of them. This is real hard.
Gavin, it's clearly not just the rhubarb that I've failed. I clearly haven't educated you in the ways of the governance family either.
Well, you tried your best.
I know, but perhaps my best wasn't good enough. Perhaps this is all I deserve.
No, Father. You deserve the best. I love you, and I want you to have all your bits intact.
That's what I want as well, Gavin. Tell me, boy, have you ever met a king?
Only in my dreams.
You've never told me about these dreams?
Yes, well, in my dreams, I meet a king. It was actually my maths teacher, which, R.I.P., but he's king, and then he makes me do exercises, but not maths exercises. He makes me clean the car.
That is a strange dream. Have you been sleeping too close to the rhubarb beds?
They're just so warm and dark.
Tell me, boy, is there rhubarb in any of your dreams?
I always have a stalk in my hand, Father, in my dreams.
Oh, remind me to sleep on the other side of the swamp mongrel drawn cart from you tonight, boy. I fear the rhubarb's in your head now.
Oh, okay. I'll try not to listen to them, but they do whisper so.
What are they whispering, boy? What are they whispering?
They want to be on the land 24/7. They love the dark, but maybe one day they could see a sunrise.
Maybe that's your destiny, boy. Maybe you can be the one to crack the conundrum that has puzzled the governance family for all these years. Maybe you can be the one to breed rhubarb that can walk in the day.
Yes. The voices, they like that. I shall work on it, Father. You work on staying alive. I'll work on helping them see the sun.
This is Free Yorkshire Radio.
Given the chaos sweeping the nation, we thought we'd arrange a phone-in to find out just what's happening out there. And here's our first caller, Esther from Hull, whose husband has had an encounter with the invading rhubarb.
Hello?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, yes.
Great.
So you had a pet swamp mongrel that's had an interaction with the invading rhubarb?
Yeah, it was Pete. Pete the swamp mongrel, that's his name.
Mm-hmm.
We noticed some roots coming into our garden.
Oh, right, yes.
And we thought, that's a bit weird.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're on the marshlands, And, what are these roots doing? So Pete went to inspect it, and he came over to me, and he had this stick, and loads of leaves on it. And I was like, oh, don't be eating that, Pete. Don't be eating those leaves. And he ate it, and he killed over. Gone. Kaput.
Just that immediately. So we've heard it's the rhubarb leaves were poisonous, but now it's the rhubarb themselves.
It's all of it.
We can eat Yorkshire rhubarb, but not the invading rhubarb. But how do you tell the difference?
Well, the invading rhubarb has a picture of some queen on there. There's some lady. On the top of the rhubarb. She's got a fork.
Helena the Fork. So her very image is growing out on their leaves, like a stigmata.
Yes. Do you remember Boudica? Queen Boudica? She looks like her.
Oh, right. So she's all done up. She's got the shield and the nice hat.
It's a lovely hat with a nice plume.
Okay. Well, sounds like these leaves might be worth a bob or two.
If you can get hold of them.
Uh-huh.
They're quite wily.
Oh, right. The invading rhubarbs, they're crafty, are they?
They're very crafty. When I was a young sprog, all I knew was that you put them in the dark, you beat them into submission, and then they grow.
Just the same as we raise our children.
Exactly. And now they're doing taxes, like our accountant children.
So they're looking to take our jobs.
And not many people want to be an accountant, but I don't want rhubarb accountants.
No. We've got accountants with fingers, so we know they can count. But how does a rhubarb count if they don't have any fingers?
They've got to gather lots and lots of rhubarb to actually be able to account for the numbers we'd be dealing with.
Oh, that's shocking. Well, thank you very much for that. We've got a lot of calls to take, so we're going to take our next call. This is from Gregory in Skelmanthorpe. Gregory, have you got anything to add to the stories of the rhubarb invasion?
Yes, they took my book. I had one book and they took it.
Oh, well, you got an allocation of one book per citizen in the Free Republic of Yorkshire. Obviously, we don't want people getting too many ideas, and they took your book. Do you mind me asking what book it was?
Sure, it was Cat Amongst the Pigeons by Agatha Christie.
Oof. So you're never going to find out who it was?
No, there were so many bodies piling up. What did rhubarb want a book for? They don't have eyes. Do they have eyes? Have they learned to read?
Have they evolved eyes? Well, we hear that they're learning to become accountants.
Yeah, but accountants can't read.
That's true. They can only count to 10. The Yorkshire accountants, anyway, can only count to 10. Except the ones who don't have shoes, they can count to 20. But you don't know what they're planning to do with this book. Are they planning a murder mystery?
I mean, they're pretty good at the murders, so...
But it's not much of a mystery, because we know that they did it. So maybe they're looking to learn how to cast suspicion onto another suspect. They're going to frame somebody in Yorkshire for all the blood and violence that's been happening.
That's how they get rid of the king. They implicate the king.
I think you're onto something, Gregory. But I'm sorry, we're going to have to take another call. We've got Liam in Dewsbury. Liam, can you hear us?
Hi, Lloyd. I can hear you.
I hear you've got some news further to this theory about how the rhubarb are coming for the king.
Well, Lloyd, yes, I think they're coming for his pockets. I've been up here in Wakefield, and I'm calling you from the High Street, and what I can say is this is the death of the Yorkshire High Street. What all these rhubarb they're doing is they're taking all our jobs, they're making money, and they're not spending it.
So they're consuming the wealth of Yorkshire, but they're just hoarding it.
They're hoarding it, they're sitting on their fat piles of gold like dragons, and obviously it's affecting all the people who've been devoured, but it's also our honest shopkeepers that are suffering.
We've got to keep the high street open, even in times of war, devastation, famine, and mass refugees. We've got to think about the business people and keep their livelihoods going. That's what the government's all about.
Absolutely. And then the king obviously takes his cut, and he keeps us protected from the rhubarb, and it's a cycle.
If he doesn't get his cut, he can't keep us protected. So they are crafty. I've been hearing about how wily these rhubarb are, but it's quite shocking how cunning they're becoming.
In any case, Lloyd, I'm still here. I'm the last man on Wakefield's High Street. I'll be spending as much money as I can trying to keep these guys afloat until the rhubarb takes me. It's already at my ankles.
Okay, well, that's very patriotic of you, Liam. We salute you for your service. Okay, and I think we've got time for one more call. We've got Mallory from Harrogate. Mallory, can you hear us?
Hello, Lloyd. Yes, I can hear you.
Marvellous. So you sound, may I say, one of the more refined citizens of Yorkshire. Maybe you've got something on the inside line on the gossip concerning the trouble of our King Geoffrey.
King Geoffrey is, of course, a little concerned about the public unrest. But really, we think that this is just one of those minor matters that will blow over soon, and there is no reason for our citizens to be concerned.
That's wonderful news. I can tell all the limbless people in our hospitals that they're mistaken in their plight, and they can all return to their domiciles soon and resume life as normal, yes?
Well, I think that you have to look back on the blitz spirit of our fathers and grandfathers. When they lost their legs, did they sit around in hospitals complaining? No, they simply walked it off and were back to work the next day. Really, this is just the new liberal generation allowing things to get out of proportion, and that we all need to get back to the proper Yorkshire way of doing things, which is to not let things get to us. Rhubarb, schmoobarb.
That is the Yorkshire spirit. We've survived many an issue before. We've had the plagues and the fallout and the zombie attacks. So why should we let a little bit of sentient, bloodthirsty rhubarb knock us out of our Yorkshire ways? I'm so glad to hear somebody finally talking sense on this phone in Mallory.
Exactly. I wasn't killed by plague or war, therefore why should anyone worry?
Indeed. You've set us right, and I think we're all ready to feel reinvigorated and double our efforts against this latest foe. I'm sure we'll have them swept out of the nation in no time at all. Thank you very much for your time, Mallory. And that's all the time we have for this week's phone-in. Thank you.
What's that, Gary? Some of James Cameron's lawyer bots are trying to breach our defences. They're actually trying to defend their copyright on unobtainium. Ugh, how embarrassing. Just hit them with a flurry of random cease and desist letters. That might delay them for a bit. OK, it's now time to return to the matter at hand. Farmer Ken Governance and his son Gavin have arrived at court to plead their case before a very angry King Geoffrey VII.
Ken Governance, I have a spike with your name on it. I have several spikes, and they all have your name on it.
Oh, Your Majesty, I beg of you, please don't divide my body into its constituent bits and spike them all. We can fix this problem which has arisen with the rhubarb, I assure you.
Well, have you come to me today with problems, or have you come to me today with solutions?
It's definitely solutions. That sounds better.
Okay, I'm all ears. Don't mind me, I'll just be sharpening this spike.
My son Gavin has a plan.
Boy.
Yes, sir?
Step forward.
Okay.
You're in good luck today. I think you'll very soon be inheriting your father's farm.
Oh, no! Please don't spike my dad. Yes, the rhubarb have been whispering to me. They want to see the sun. So I think we should flamethrower the lot of them.
Flamethrower the lot of them.
Yes, didn't work for some of the blights affecting our land, but maybe rhubarb is flammable.
We tried it when the swamp mongrels unionized. It didn't work on them. Now I have to give them a day's holiday every year.
Well, you could flame and spike them so they can't move. Pin them to the ground.
You're talking my language now. I do like to pin things.
Yeah, so you give every person on the ground several spikes and they will stop them walking.
Be like a rhubarb kebab.
Yes.
A shishka rhubarb. I have men to do my portmanteaus for me.
Quite right.
Excuse me, my most royal highness, I could not help but overhear it is me, your chef, Francois. I also hear the idea of flamethrowing these rhubarb. It will caramelize them. If we then get our air forces to drizzle salted caramel on them, they will become irresistible, but irresistible to each other.
Oh, a delicious plan, chef. How quickly can you
Well, to get a proper salted caramel, you have to soak it for 1 month and then bury it underground with some truffles for a few months. And then obviously they simmer at a low temperature for a year. But if you want me to do the little version, I can knock some up in about 3 hours.
I'll give you 2.5.
Ah.
Give me the Aldi version.
God damn you. But I will do it. So I will turn the oven up to 11.
Good man.
Your Highness, so I've ran 17 miles. The rhubarb are on the approach. They have wheels now.
Wheels?
Wheels?
Yes.
Wheels?
Please, let me make my point. According to my calculations, I've counted to 10, 7,000 times over. They are approximately 2 hours and 20 minutes away.
Oh my goodness, he's died of exhaustion.
Well, that means we only have to hold them off for 10 minutes once they get here. Gavin, your plan is worthy of a governance. I'm proud to call you my son.
Thank you, Daddy. Does this mean, Your Majesty, you're not going to put my daddy on spikes?
I'm holding his sentence for 2 hours and 40 minutes, and I will reevaluate if we all survive this ordeal.
You are a just king. You're the second nicest king I've ever met.
The last one was me before I gestated.
Oh, no, I was referring to the one I met in my dream. It's not important. It was my maths teacher.
I have dreams sometimes.
Oh, what do you dream of?
I dream that I'm teaching a little boy maths.
What?
You're listening to Free Yorkshire Radio.
Well, the James Cameron lawyer bots have eased off, but only because the James Cameron estate has sold off their content to an AILLM, and now they're trying to consume us and our entire back catalogue. Gary, show them that cake you baked that looks just like a set of traffic lights. That might confuse them just long enough for us to finish our show. Okay, it's now 2 hours later as the rhubarb march on the castle, and we return to the court to discover the fate of our king.
My God, a forest of rhubarb marching on the castle. Kind of sight that someone might write a play about.
It's beautiful, but scary.
Oi, Jeffrey! Jeff, oi!
Oh my goodness, a giant
me!
A giant partition is opening in the rhubarb. There's a woman's... Look at that plume! A woman with a huge plume.
Normal-sized fork.
Yeah, Jeffrey. Helen. Yeah, it's me. Helen of the Fork. Normal-sized, massive plume.
The rhubarb is forming a tower and she's standing on top of it. She's coming to meet us.
I'm coming to meet you. Now, I want a word with you, Jeffrey.
Yes, Helen?
I've been keeping an eye on things you've been doing up north. Don't like it. Don't like it one bit.
What don't you like?
I don't like the way you've been treating those swamp mongrels. It's not how we do it in the south. Arguably, I'd say we're in the Midlands, but...
Don't tell me you give them 2 days holiday a year.
They get a week. A week, Jeffrey.
A week?
A week.
How could I possibly run a city-state?
You stagger the holidays. That's how. You don't all have to take it off at the same day. Apart from, I don't know, Yorkshire Day, we've got Midlands Day.
Midlands Day. The rhubarb really has driven you mad.
How have they driven me mad, Jeffrey? Or have you gone mad with power? That wasn't a rhetorical question.
Oh, no, I haven't gone mad with power. Do you know what happened to the last person who told me I went mad with power? I impaled their entire village on spikes.
Why, look up there on that turret. That's the whole village. There's one spike for heads, one spike for hands, and you can get the rest. There's a spike for everybody bit.
I remember you, Kenny.
Wait, I remember you.
Yeah, you beat me with a cricket bat.
Aye.
Every single night throughout February.
That is the shortest month, so really I was doing you a kindness.
Your Royal Highness, terrible news. The gas meter has run out. Do you have any more 50p pieces? Oh, what is happening? Who is that?
I'm out of money. The high street is dead. I'm not getting any tax anymore.
Oh, no. But who is that woman on the rhubarb?
Oh, hello.
She is, I say, incroyable.
Oh, hello. What's your name, then?
Hello, I am Francois. Very pleased to meet you.
Enchanté, Francois.
Are you Ellen of the Fork?
Helen of the Fork, yes.
Oh, wow. I am so delighted to meet someone who has a culinary utensil that is designed to eat the very food that I cook. No one in Yorkshire can eat my best dishes because they do not have forks.
I hear they eat with their hands. That's how it happens up north.
So they cannot appreciate my flambéed turnip. Would you like to try some?
I'd love to try some.
I just happen to have a bowl of it with me. I have a little sample of that.
Oh, it looks so beautiful. The caramelisation is just exquisite.
Ah, yes, I've caramelised it to a T.
I'll try some now.
Yes, no, feel it absorb into you. Can you feel the marmite that I have put in it?
Marmite.
People either love or hate. You can feel the division it creates within you, no?
I can. Francois, I don't want to insult your cooking, but it's doing something funny to my inside.
Ah, my plan has worked, my highness. The Marmite is dividing the genetic makeup of her very being.
No.
Because Marmite splits everything down the middle.
No.
She's going to be divided back into barbed wire and roux.
No, this wasn't the plan.
She's falling apart.
We're supposed to unite the whole of the north and the south. Francois, you've betrayed me. Oh.
I'm sorry, mon amour. You are truly incroyable, but I am loyal to my king, even though I'm French.
Francois, you've saved us all!
I'm splitting apart!
Gavin, it is your time to fulfill your destiny. Use your math to count out how many roux and barbed wire there are, and we can know to defeat them.
Oh, wow. 1 roux. 1 bob. 2 roux.
Yes.
2 bob. Oh.
No.
4 roux. 4 bob. 8 roux. 8 bob.
Can he count more than 10? If he can count more than 10, then they shall be defeated.
No. Do not go beyond 9. Do not.
16 roux. 16 bob.
No!
32 roux. 32 bob. 64 roux. 64 bob.
Oh my God, he's going up in powers of 2.
128. Yeah.
My beautiful binary boy.
There's so many of them. Look at the field left in twain. Oh, 1/2 of one, 1/2 of another. It's beautiful. It's rootiful. Oh, wow.
Oh, my King Geoffrey, has Gavin not performed well on the battlefield today? What shall his reward be?
Gavin, some of those numbers were lost to time. With a brain like yours, I'll send you out and you'll teach the people. Our accountants will be able to count to 64 now. And your father shall live.
Hooray!
Thank goodness for your mercy.
You can count on King Geoffrey.
Oh, and Francois, that genetic science course I sent you on paid off its dividends.
Yes.
I'm afraid, though, I am worried you're becoming a bit too powerful. So I believe I will have to spike you in the morning.
Zut alors. I understand, my liege. I am too powerful.
It's the way things are.
I will spike myself now, actually. And use the salted caramel on myself so you can feast on me this evening. Bonjour et au revoir.
The Free State of Yorkshire salutes you, Francois.
You're listening to Free Yorkshire Radio.
And with Chef Francois sacrificed and devoured, it's time to thank King Geoffrey for saving us from catastrophe yet again. However, the James Cameron-sanctioned AI harvesters are now within the studio confines. Indeed, we may have already been consumed by them, and you may now be listening to an AI-generated version of Free Yorkshire Radio. We would have no way of knowing. Gary, did you always have 7 fingers on your left hand? And why are you using it to eat a glue pizza? Oh well, I guess that's the end of another show. Cheerio, and until next time, may all your brews be strong, may all your puddings be fettled, and may all your swamp mongrels be radiation-free. Tara!
Communications have been severely disrupted.
Make sure you have food, water, and a battery-powered radio with you.
This is not a test.
Hi, thanks for listening. I'm Noel Curry, and this show featured Dan Luxton as Farmer Ken Governance, Vanessa Sue as Helen of the Fork, Brendan Way as Gavin Governance, and Michael Spelman as King Geoffrey VII. They're all members of the improv group Duck Duck Goose, and you can find out more about these wonderful improvisers and their group in the episode notes. And you can follow this podcast on Facebook at Free Yorks Radio. We'll be back next time, but if you enjoyed this, then you know what to do. Please subscribe, share, rate, and review. Thanks.
Yo, what's up?
You're listening to Free Yorkshire Radio.